welcome to my live stream. Let's just see if this is all working as it should. Let's see, where is my... supposedly, I'm now on the full speaker thing. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, all right. So welcome to another live stream. Today, I've quite changed my setup a bit. So I'm not using this virtual green screen anymore, and I've done some other optimizations. I hope you like it. And today the topic is that when trying to show off some coding, often you have to have some API keys or username, passwords, server URLs that you don't want anybody to see. And how this is dealt with generally is people have a .env file, and I have one here as an example. Let me go to full screen. So on my desktop here, lots of crap. And actually it's a .env, so it's invisible. So that's how it would look like. Yeah. You have variable equals a string, variable equals a string. And the question is, how would you use such a credential file when you are demonstrating stuff or also in production? Yeah. .env in Unix, the dot means that this is a hidden file. So if I go to my desktop and I just do ls, yeah, I won't see it. Yeah, you have to do ls minus l8, and you see a lot of hidden files that all start with dot. Yeah, and so today what I would like to show you is I'm using the cursor app, and actually we start. Let's go to developer empathier .env test. Yeah. So we start with an empty folder, and I copy my .env I have on the desktop here. Yeah. And with cursor, we will open this file, open folder. It's in developer.env test, open, and there's nothing in there. And we're using agent mode, and we'll use Claude Sonnet. It's only been released yesterday, the 3.7.1. So I will see, maybe it sometimes happens that we get disconnected and it doesn't go anywhere, but generally it seems to be working quite well. So what we want to do is create a Swift package for a terminal app to demonstrate loading of the .env file that's in the project folder for loading it. And of course you could code it all yourself, but fortunately somebody else has done all this work, the barn dog. And this is a very, very nice framework that we can just use. So use this. Oops. So submit. No, not working state. Just this .env. And here it goes. So it looks in the current directory, finds the .env file, reads it, it creates a new package. And by the way, that's something I very much like about Claude, if you ask it to create a package, it would actually use the Swift package init type executable, whereas the open AI models generally want to create their own package. But this also creates a git ignore, it creates a main Swift. So that's all very nice. Let's see what it does. Okay, we've got the demonstrating env. Try to load. It's even creating a README now. All right. Accept. Nice README. Accept. It's so this is our .env example. It seems that users can use as a template. And then the great thing is on the command line, if we're doing a Swift package, we can just Swift build. And so it would, okay, there's an issue with the product. So we just let it fix this. SwiftDotenv is the name of the product, not just .env. It's fixing the import. Swift build. And I have to admit, I have switched on the YOLO mode, which makes the iterating much faster. There's something about the how .env is used. Actually, let's give it a hint. Environment stop. Use the sample at this at link to know how the syntax works. So the more information you can give the composer about how certain things work, the quicker it comes to a fully working functionality. So you see it tried, okay, .env load with a path, but it knows now that the syntax is actually this. Accept. Let's also note that it uses dynamic members, so you get the values from .env either via subscript or like .emap post. So that's, of course, I tried this earlier and figured out that that's what it does. I learned something new actually, because if you just load this file, you'd assume, okay, this you would have to subscript this like environment quote I'm a post, but there is a much nicer thing with I'm a post. Let's see how it looks like now. Where's my sources here? Main. So are we done now? Perfect. So let's see, run it again. Generating, it's just doing a Swift run, and then we see, okay, it loaded via subscript, it found them, it loaded via environment variable, it found them, and how it looks like is, and actually I just noticed remove the, that's not necessary, it's all strings. So it can, environment here is .env load, and so you can do environment dot IMAP username, and or you can do environment. The other thing is with subscripts like this. Let's actually look here. It says configure, and then it says .env. Yeah, that's how we use it. So configure, it uses load. Actually, we should use configure instead of load. So it says try.env configure. We want to do it like in the demo here. So try.env configure. And then we can access .env the keys. Yeah. Like the version of SwiftDotenv we're using only has load and save. Why would that be? Package version 100. We are at release 2. Stop. We should use the latest version of .env instead. We are at 2.1. So it needs to update the package. And not exact, but this version or higher. So from 210, and I don't know why it shows me this except all here. I have to keep pushing this. Although it doesn't matter, it seems I'm in YOLO mode and it would also accept everything. But every now and then I press this. So now that .configure would work. Yeah, and the great thing about doing this with Swift build is if it knows how to to build this with Swift build, yeah, you see here, it removes the build, it doesn't do build, then it would automatically know the errors that occur, and then it can go fix them and build them again and fix them and build them again. And the same is with testing actually. So if you have a way to run the command line script, then I suppose it's the same with if you do unit tests, then you could just have it implement the unit test first and then keep iterating on the unit test until the unit test works. So right now, okay, we are now at the stage where everything works perfectly. Yeah. So run it once more. And so we do a Swift run, and here's the full result. It finds the env file, successfully loads, and both via subscript and via dynamic member lookup, we find everything. And now that's part one of this. This all now works within Cursor, or rather using Swift build from the command line. But some of the debugging you might still want to do in Xcode. So let's open this in Xcode. Open .env test. Here we have the same stuff. Yeah, it has to resolve the package dependency. Of course, I don't want to run it on my watch, but on my Mac. Yeah, and if I run this now, if you open a folder that has a Swift package, it creates an implicit Xcode project like this. Yeah, and what you see now here is it can't find the end file. Yeah, because it's looking at derived data. So this is some weird location it's at. Yeah. So what we need to do is modify the configure such that you get the current working directory from file manager and append.env. Because I found if you run it from Xcode, it CDs into a different directory apparently somehow, or the current working directory is in a different location. But what we want to do is actually ask the system where is the file. Yeah, and now you see if I look at the main, it's now getting file manager default current directory path, and here we need to current directory path let dot env path equals current directory path, and that's actually is this path as a string. So plus dot env and for some reason I need to say a path dot env path. So if I run it now here, and I can debug, so my .env path is again weird. All right. So what I want to do is scheme options, use custom working directory. No, it doesn't work. So earlier in another project that actually worked, I was having it, sorry, set IMAP. I was doing it like so, and that was working. It's still in derived data. Why is that? Funny thing, I have no idea why this was working in this other project, because here, if I run this, then actually it gets to be my, maybe I put it in the scheme. Okay. I set my current working directory, so I cheated myself. Yeah. So what we need to figure out, is there a way to not set this? Because if you have a project and that might be at some other place in somebody's file system, you still want this to work. So I found actually that in the process info and environment current, let's do it like so. Try to get the current working directory from the process info pwd value and only use the current working directory if that's not set. So when the process starts, there are a couple of environment variables that get set by Xcode, and I found the pwd seems to be setting the right one. Although, coming to think of it, I might also have fooled myself here. So actually, let's check this process info environment. Here's my environment, and this doesn't have the pwd, does it? Home, it has home. Filter, simple. Oh, it here does. But that's the simple IMAP1. We want to go here, look at it again, and don't set the custom working directory. Let's see, do we have? So the pwd is the same as the current working directory of the Unix command executed. So that's something I don't quite know yet how to deal with in Xcode. Yeah. So let's briefly look into this. Asking ChatGPT, how can I get the path of my source root at compile time? Using the file macro. Could use hash file. How can I get the source root? And actually, let's see. So if I'm running this, PO process info environment. Let's have a look at this with TextMate. What I'm looking for is developer. Developer. Actually, it should be something .env test, .env test, derived data, So derived data. So what the question is really now, how do I set up my scheme such that if I run it, this custom working directory doesn't get set to build product steer. Is there a way to have this be populated with source root instead? This, it says confidently, yes, you can do that. But unfortunately, I found that this doesn't work. Because if I run it now, it says the working directory for scheme doesn't exist. It's not a Swift package. And it says project here. Ah, okay. I checked it before. It doesn't work either. So I have to figure this out. So the one workaround would be to specify the absolute path in the override directory. Because if you do that, scheme, edit scheme, and here .env test, close, then that would be working. Now the PWD is on video. And of course, now the whole thing works as it should. So there you have it. That's how in the future I will load my .env and my secret stuff from the hidden file. Of course, this hidden file should also be part of the .git ignore, that you don't ever check it into a Git repository. But what you've seen here also is that Cursor is very nicely able to help us get this working if you know what you're looking for. Yeah, so it's still a bit off from fully agentically creating whole apps. Yeah, I've spent many hours yesterday and today trying to make it a wrapper for uh, Swift Swift Neo IMAP, which is still under heavy development and not very user friendly. I'm getting closer and closer, but it always sort of falls apart after a while. Yeah, so that you have to make sure that you have distinct individual pieces that you're dealing with here. Yeah, but that's it for today. Yeah, that's how you can load a .env and work with Cursor to create a terminal app. And I'm looking forward to showing you more elaborate things in the future. And again, sorry for not being able to figure out how to get the current working directory fixed in a proper way. I will tell you this next time. Okay, so for now, thanks for watching. See you. I've done with the last stream.